So I'm gonna make a little video on this part just in case anybody out there does the same stupid shit that I did. So if you own a Ford with the engine 7.3, you got this part right here, which is where the dipstick goes. So let me see if I can get this thing to hold right here. So what happens is, this part is literally inside the oil panel, right? And then this is what goes bad on them sometimes. You know, they'll swallow up or whatever happens. Well, that goes right there, and this sits behind the oil pan. That's how that goes. And then you have this right here that's outside the oil pan, and it basically holds like that, right? And your dipstick goes right there. Well, for some of us that don't know too much mechanic, what I did was I was working on mine because the oil was leaking on the oil pan, and it was quite a bit too. So I tried replacing the gasket, as I saw videos that's what goes bad. The problem is that when you take this part off, if you're not careful with this falls in your oil pan, and there's no way of getting it out unless you go fishing, and believe me, it ain't gonna be that easy. Especially on the truck I have, it's kind of short. Working under there is not easy. So fishing it out, it's gonna be a hard thing. My understanding from all the videos that I saw and shit is to get this out, you literally have to lift the motor out at least 6 inches so you can take the oil pan off. I don't know if it's a lot of work. It sounds like a lot of work. I'm not very good at mechanic stuff, but I heard it's also could be a little pricey if you take it into a shop or whatever. So what I did is I did some research, and I found a part like this, because even if I wanted to put this brand new onto my thing, I would have to take the oil pan out so I can put the new part in, which is, like I said, have to work with the motor, have to do a lot of stuff with that. Well, maybe not a lot of stuff. Whatever it is you have to do to lift the motor up at least 6 inches is what I know. So what I did some research, and this is what I came across. There is this website, and it's called Strictly Diesel. This is what it looks like. Strictly Diesel. And they actually make a part, and that part is special for the 7.3 Fords. Apparently a lot of people do the same mistake that I did, or this part, the actual back part, is it breaks, or it doesn't sit tight onto the oil pan, which it will just keep leaking even if you replace the gasket. So okay, so what I did is I found them, Strictly Diesel, and they made this part. I ordered it, and it took me about 3 days to get here, 3 business days to get here. You either order it through their website. What I did is I got it through Amazon. The problem is with this part, it has a patent, so only they have it, you know. You can't find it at AutoZone, you can't find it at O'Reilly's Auto Parts, you know, Napa. You just can't find that. They don't have anything like that. They always come up with something like this, which is the part that goes into your truck. So let me show you what this is. Alright, so basically this is the part, and this to make it easy for you, well, easier, you know. And this is what it is right here. So what you can see is this is how the back is, and this one right here on this side is stripped, and I think it has a welding point right there. That's so this part don't fall behind your oil can like the last one did. So this is what happened. You take one off, which is one on one side. The other one you can't take off, so there's only one option. You take that off, and this is basically what you have right now. This thing now can move around, swing around, all that good stuff, right? This thing is made so you can put it on the outside of the oil pan, and it works just as your original part. You know, it has the gaskets right here. It has this point right here. One is, I guess, for older model Ford, and one is for newer model Fords. And what happens is it makes this thing either sit at an angle or sit straight up. My truck has an angle, so it's so you sit at an angle. So you're able to somehow, I need to put it on, which I'll do in a while. You stick this into the hole where the oil pan is, and it's gonna sit behind the oil pan. And then after you do that, you grab the other one, the other screw, right? And with I have a socket here, but I think an Allen wrench would work. With this one on the other side, you're able to kind of move this thing around. You see this thing? You can twist it around when you have it in there, so you set it right where it needs to be in place, you know. Oops. Well, anyways, this thing has a guide, and the oil pan has the guide with this little teeth things, and you know, just keep track when you take off the oil dipstick where it was sitting, if it was at an angle or straight up. Once you're able to stick that in there and you're able to move this behind there, you have to line this other one, this other screw, in the hole that right next to it. And as you're moving this, you aim for the hole in the back, and I guess you'll feel it once it kind of like you know, hits where it needs to be. You'll feel it, it'll grab a little bit, and then you tighten them, and then you tighten both of them, and you tighten it good until you get a nice fit to it. Also, on the oil pan, you want to clean it good. The residue of the oil, just wipe it real good. If you have a wire brush, do a little wire brush, not too much, just to clean some of the oil off. You want that to be tight, and then that's how that is. So I'm gonna get started on that. Remember, strictly diesel, and I'm super glad they made this part. The only thing is, it's kind of expensive. I think I paid like $365, maybe because of the shipping and handling or whatever, but it's like $370. You can say maybe that's the most you'll spend, $370. But from my understanding, it's well worth the price. If you don't have the time, or if it's like me, I use my truck for work, I don't have the time to sit at a shop. And sometimes the shop will be super expensive, or they'll have to sit on it for a week or days, depending on how much work they have. I don't have that. Even 3 days sucked, but better than anything. So I bought it for $370. I said, screw it. It sounded like the best deal for me. And I'm not much of a mechanic, so I want to go the easy way. And this looks like it's a pretty well made part for that. And like I said, you can't find this anywhere else, so don't look in O'Reilly's, AutoZone, they won't have it. So it's shout out to Strictly Diesel. At least they know there's people out there like me that do stupid stuff. But let's get to it and see what it looks like after we put it on. Alright, so I had to switch because my camera wouldn't let me, for some reason, switch it. So that's the oil pan hole right there. And you can see that the dipstick is right here. Move that to the side. We gotta clean this area real good. Make sure you clean your area real good. Alright. I'm trying to tighten it. That's what I'm doing. That way I can have an easier access to it. Okay. Oh. And the only reason I'm having a hard time is because I hardly fit under my truck. Oh, I see. I'm not spinning it all the way around. That's why I'm having a hard time. Okay guys, I got it. I screwed it in the back. Now I have to just get it where I need it, which is right there. So now we, well, that hit my face. Okay. And this is just to hand tighten it right now. I have to put a ratchet to it. Alright, so we're gonna get the ratchet. Here we go, guys. We're in business. Let me see if I can show you what I'm doing. So this is what we got going on. Right, I caught it. It's in there. It's tight. The instructions say, you know, you put it tight, but you don't want to over tighten it because then you bent the oil pan. Once you do that, you're gonna have more trouble. You're gonna have a lot of issues. I think we're gonna do this like we do a tire. We're gonna. Alright, I'm back. Phone turned off. Let me see if I can. And you do have to take your starter out of the way. That's honestly what gave me more problems than anything. So I can feel it getting tight, and I don't want to go too crazy with it. Yeah, it seems like you tighten one and the other one gets looser, so we gotta keep tightening both of them until they're both at a good point. Don't do too much. You don't want to bend the oil pan. Okay, I think that's gonna be it. Yeah, I think that should work. It looks like here's a little off, but if I pray, if I can, I think that's at a good point. Now we just got to get the dipstick in there. We're back here, and the part's on there. The part is on there. Right there. Looks good. Let's hope it works. I got the starter back on because this is gonna be in your way. Before you take off your starter, make sure you disconnect your batteries. You don't want to mess that up. Since I was down here, I basically just did an oil change, because I drained out the old oil trying to fish out the part out. Didn't work. So since I already had all the oil out, I went and put new oil and changed the filter. Again, your starter has 3 screws, one here, and one on the other side of this, kind of on the back here. It's kind of hard to get to. I think I can show you where it's at. Let me see. Yeah, that's it right there. That's the one in the back. Looks like I still gotta tighten it a little bit more. Yeah. So that's that. Now we're gonna turn on the truck and see if it doesn't leak anymore. And then for the oil, you need 15 quarts is what the diesel takes. So make sure you grab all the oil you need. So I got everything done. The new oil is in there, dipstick's in there, batteries connected. Remember, this is for a 7.3 Ford 350. Let's check if part's working. It shouldn't be leaking. That's what we're looking for. Well, looks like it's not leaking, so I guess we have a completed job. If you have any questions, just send me a comment and I'll see what I can do. I'm not a mechanic, so if I can do it, anybody else can do it. And again, shout out to Strictly Diesel for the part that I needed and a part that a lot of people are gonna need. Well, see you guys.